This is Warriors Anonymous.
Hey everyone, this is Warriors Anonymous, the podcast, bringing you New Zealand Warriors coverage, brought to you by a bunch of nobodies. And look at the lineup. Do not adjust your screen. We have everyone here in the lineup tonight. I cannot believe what is going on, fellas. Welcome along. We've got the full squad. Everyone's wearing or at least a few of us are wearing the Warriors Anonymous merch. Get along to warriorsanonymous.co.nz and get yours and look like, nobodies. Lads,
all the different versions too.
That's right. Yeah, we got the iterations. Not the same one like the last time we were on. It was like the different shades. Lads, what a weekend it has been for the Warriors. 4 games across all grades, 4 wins. So we're not going to start with the Warriors' good win in the NRL grade against the Tigers. We're not going to start with that. We're not going to start with the fact that the NRLW team had their historic first win at Mount Smart. I'm not going to start with that either. We're not also going to start with the 12 wins in a row by our New South Wales Cup team. We're going to start with some video footage of this, boys. This is the greatest comeback you're ever going to see in your lifetime on a rugby league field. This is the Jersey Fleet Cup, fellas, getting the last 10 minutes. So there's 10 minutes to go in this game. Down 42-22. They get a try there to bring it back to 42-28. A couple of minutes later, we swing it wide to Rafael Siola, speedy winger. Just note the clock on here because people have been asking that there's a bit of a differential between the live stream clock and the actual game clock. So look at this stuff, boys. Jack Thompson, the halfback, flings it out wide, the cutout pass. Buddha loves this. This is Junior Sickle. Oh my God.
Oh, and this bit. Oh, that's the best bit.
It's like an NFL running back, the twirl.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And this is like down to like the last play of the game here. Just chuck it wide and hope for the best. And if you're going to do that, give it to this guy, Brandon Norris. He is AKA Chuck Norris, because Brandon Norris does not feel pressure. Pressure feels Brandon Norris. My goodness, look at the scenes on that. Far out. Absolutely incredible stuff. That is the best comeback I've ever seen. 4 tries in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, on a rugby league field. That is absolutely unbelievable. But, Buddha, you actually mentioned that was about as far behind as you can possibly get, given time constraints.
Yeah. Logistically, and they're even further behind, right? With 15 to go, if not so, or 20 to go, they were further behind.
Oh, well, it was kind of steady. They got to try to get back to like 20 points behind, or 16 points behind, and then they conceded to try to go back to 20. So it was like, okay. And then, I was watching this game thinking, oh, well, like, good on the boys for keeping the energy up, especially guys like Junior Sickle, like, they were just trying, and they didn't stop. They didn't drop their bloody lip. I thought they were going to lose, but I was like, at least they just, they keep on trucking, and fucking hell, they ended up doing that. But holy moly. Lads, also, obviously, the NRL team, they had a good win. Not quite a goat of a comeback as such, but Isaac, a new guy coming into the number 7 jersey, Tanah Boyd. Hey, he looked right at home, didn't he?
Yeah, Boyd. He was looking awesome.
Let's hear it for the Boyd.
Let's hear it for the Boyd. Old Hannah Montana. He was good. He was so good. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast that wasn't to be last week. That he would be the game manager.
You guys just had a chat.
We just had a chat. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been posted up if not for technical demons, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we talked about his game management, his kicking game, how he may square up the defense, the way he attacks the line, and he did exactly that. So I was chuffed there. Like, he's the tonic if we're not going to have Metcalf available for the rest of the season.
Hard out, bro. Hard out. I think that I'd actually never seen such a level of comfort across the Warriors fans. They were just like, bro, this guy's going to be fine, man. He's just going to just jump in there and just do a job. And that's exactly what he did. Really good to see it. If anything, we've probably gained a little bit extra in a couple of aspects, including goal kicking. Like, all of a sudden, it's like we're going up in 6s, which really helps. Moneta out wide. The return of the curls. The curls came back. The curly came back early. And it's sort of in the podcast, it didn't happen. I joked that regardless of whether or not he was going to play, he wouldn't be defending on his wing. And to see how the game started, it sort of started off like that. I was like, oh, here we go. All right. But man, he came on in that game. What did you see from a winger's perspective?
Yeah, he definitely turned it up. Yeah, was a bit nervous, but he did those runs from the back, straight forward in those post-contact meters. He played well, and he scored a try in the corner with that, trademark dive that he usually has. So it's good to see, and his little try celebration was pretty cool. But yeah, and speaking of wingers, looks like Leka should be on the wing too.
Yeah, he did all right. Lekker, an injury impacted backline, which is it's always. Well, that's not good to see, but it's good to see that we can adjust to it anyway. But what I wanted to get your thoughts on one thing that happened during the game, where the Benji Marshall. I'm not an expert lip reader, but
Bullshit.
I can only guess that he was overly impressed with a captain's challenge that they'd put through to do with a strip on the ball. Was it a strip? Was it not? Let's go to you for your in-depth analysis on that, bro.
Okay, so we go back a few years ago, and we pretty much, I don't know how you put it, pretty much it was a ruling that, if anything touched the ball from an attacking player, it was deemed a strip. So, but then we fast forward to now, what happens now, you can go around with the ball, but if you look to go like that, that's deemed a strip. So, yeah, it's a real confusing rule, and I think it's kind of gone too far, and teams now it's rubbish on the ball. They call it rubbish on the face. I think there's just so much rubbish on the ball now, so you're kind of having to decipher every moment. So, to be honest, I'm like, it's a little bit of a lottery. I'm inclined not to challenge them just because they don't tend to, unless it's a blatant pull like that. There's just a lot of work on the ball, and I just don't think actually that's warranted unless you're gonna like let the game go. You're not going to call it a loose carry as well. So, yeah, like in this situation, probably slight saving grace is you couldn't quite see the right angle, so they obviously went with that decision as well. But it's confusing. They had it fine for a bit, and then they've lost it. So, I don't know. You know what happens. They'll adjust the rule on the fly as well, and the big teams tend to get the hookups.
Yeah, nice. It's like a tectonic sort of strip, isn't it? It's just you just slowly you don't strip it, you just and then pop.
You just fucking around on the ball the whole time.
Oh shit! Like, how did that
Like-
happen?
They're like this. Oh no, loose carry.
Yeah.
The guy come in like that.
What?
There's just so much, and most of the time the defender has the ball. The defender's holding the ball as well.
Yeah. Was
You
it
know,
the
so-
old Adam Fanua Blake? Was he the one who did just release the ball and let them have it? Like, get a
Yeah.
penalty?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
stuff,
surely
mate,
there's
you
got
know.
to be some common sense. If a guy has his arm tucked with the ball in it and it doesn't sort of, slide out or pop out, which is pretty obvious to tell. You can tell if it's been kind of forced out via nefarious means. But anyways, onward we shall march. Now, I just caught a bit of bloke in the bar, talking about Erin Clark before we jumped on for this podcast. And man, he was talking about him as the NRL lock of the year and also potentially the buy of the year as well. So I thought I'd have a bit of a chat about that, fellas, and get your thoughts. Isaac, what's your thoughts on, first of all, the Dally M lock of the year?
I think that's pretty fair. And then in regards to buy of the year, if you can name me a better player, go ahead, because I don't think there is. I mean, from the very first game, he's just been outstanding. He hasn't just been, pretty good, average. He's been outstanding in every game that he's played. And when he's not on the field, we definitely see a difference in performance from the team. So, yeah, I can fill him in for a lock of the year, I reckon. He definitely walks into that team with his efforts.
Who's he competing with in lock of the year? I don't think you give it. Well, there's Yo's always in the mix. I reckon if you take Origin form into it,
yeah.
but he'll be always in the mix. Eddie Carrigan, they kind of mix him around a bit, eh? So I don't know. He's not really around. Yeah, and just on his attributes, he's such a threat. Like, he's so strong. So you've got the run threat, and he just finds his front, right? He'll steamroll skittle guys and find his front, so you get the quick play the ball. And then he just added that little bit of silkiness, that little play, that little weight egg and fake to go right, come around the back, and then just a nice flight of hand. So he's got a bit of finesse as well as that power game. So, and the one thing I love the most about it is he was a grub.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was uber grub. Yeah.
Uber grub, especially Uber grub against us. And naturally, I think he had a bit of a chip on his shoulder, like the whole, left Warriors probably. I think I'm the man, can go away. And then return the prodigal son's return. So, because I think maybe the Warriors fans were a little mixed on the initial appointment, and I always thought, well, he's just tough to deal with, so we'll just go with that. But he's just been,
I mean,
Exceeded expectations.
he was only being a grub against, especially against the Warriors, just because he was in pain. Like, his heart was hurting from what had happened, but now he's whole again, so it's good.
Yeah.
I got to say, I was all good with Erin's signing in the first place, but I kind of thought we might get a slightly better version of Jazz. I think we got a little bit more than that. And I think I was definitely a little bit sort of hesitant, shall we say. Probably, what the actual was my initial thoughts when Tanah Boyd signed. So he's done really well in terms of how he's come on the scene. But
it's just a smart, there's a smart play for Tanah, for us to get a guy like Tanah. Half the NRL would love, the other bottom 8 teams would choose him to be their halfback, right? Like, it's such great recruitment as well, and to keep him engaged. He did talk about wanting to be in a winning culture, and he's definitely been in there as well. And I just kind of know we started at the top of the segment of this, but I feel like it's a bad loss for Luke Metcalf, but I feel like it's a kind of a rebirth of how we can play going forward. And just on that kicking game, he puts another extra 20 meters in the air. Actually, we can get to the guys catching the ball in the 10-meter line because he's launching them up. So it's Luke's fantastic, and gutted to see him not be there, but it's kind of just a great option to have him in there.
I'm actually just enjoying watching Tanah put in a kick and not having to worry like I do when Metcalf's got the ball. Like when he puts in a kick, and I'm like, careful on the hammy, take it easy, don't kick too hard, son. Like, don't overextend, don't over rotate or whatever. But yeah, all
It says
good.
a lot about our culture. I think in the last 3 years, you think about Barnett, a lot of people were going, oh no, here we go. There was a bit of mongrel behind him that was a head high shot when he played for Newcastle Knights, and I remember that was like the worry. Then he turned out to be a champion. You got Tanah Boyd, a lot of people saying, but now he's put into the system, and he did stunning on the weekend. Erin Clark, another example, So it says a lot also, I think, about the coaching style of Webster. He somehow is bringing out the best in the people. And don't forget Sean Johnson. A lot of people did not want Sean Johnson, but he stuck with Sean Johnson, and that he had that stellar year. So Webster's somehow been able to bring this winning culture, and just he's able to bring the best out of players where sometimes us fans kind of doubt these players. So he's doing something right, I think.
That's right. Yeah. He's especially a guy like Dallin. Like a lot of players have happened as well, like Chance. Yeah. They've been maybe in form slumps or whatever, and Webster's just backed them and picked them, and we've all been on here going, fuck's the team for blah blah blah. But in the end, they do come through, and Webby just sits there going, see, I told you.
I mean, we're also coming off the Kane Evans experiments and the
Kane Evans experience. I like that. You are experiencing Kane Evans, and what's his name? The guy that's grown his hair back suddenly, Matt Lodge. Lay down Lodge.
Yeah.
That's
a great comeback.
Yeah.
That's the comeback of the year.
Yeah.
So we were some pretty dark days. We were really skeptical on
the squad,
our recruitment policies, but what I like about these guys coming out there, they've all admitted it. Like, they needed a bit of a shock to their career and a bit of a change, and get out of their bubble as well. And actually coming across and having to work hard as well. You're not just Wilson, and I guess that's the issue before. These imports would come in Wilson, not even kind of, we were talked about this.
Another one, Chanel, before he left. He was a good player, but now ever since he's come back, he's
a different player. Yeah, he's grown.
The man.
Also, just on Chanel as well, shout out to Anna O'Sullivan, who was at the game as a follower of Warriors Anonymous, and had the big billboard saying Chanel number 6, which
I saw that one. That was good.
It was beautiful. There was actually another
spray all over me. Yeah,
there was...
I mean the Chanel number 6.
That's fine. Yep, all good. Isaac, one guy who I actually thought was probably giving us the most punch from the bench this week was another Tanah. Tanah Mainaiui. Tanah Smith.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good. It's so good knowing that these guys can just jump in when we're a bit short-staffed on a work day and do a good job. And yeah, it's just another player seamlessly fitting into the top grade team. We've talked about Tanah, his his role in the team seamless. It's hardly missed a beat. And then we've got other players that go away injured, they come back, they fit seamlessly into the team again. And Tanner's just one of those guys. He's just a perfect fit for the way the Warriors are playing at the moment. I think a lot of these younger players, they're not just flash in the pan. I know we all love Leka Halasima, especially for that insane stuff he did on the wing. But Dimitri Valwanga, Tanner, they're all pretty high energy, good defensive players. That's what I really like about them, because arguably in the past, when we've brought in young players, they've been flash in the pan on attack, but defense has been really sort of suspect, especially when it comes to the energy they show in defense. But these young guys coming in, they show a lot of enthusiasm on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what I really like. Like, we're not losing too much on the defensive end of things when you bring youngins on, because arguably young guys on defense can sort of have a bit of a target on their back.
Yeah.
Just one thing to that, and this goes back to when we were in the bad days, informal report days.
The early days of the podcast.
The reason they can be successful is Webby's not getting them out for 80 minutes, and they're not playing. They don't have to play 80 minutes as well, and they're not. And look, they're not ready to do that. I mean, naturally in a game, something like that might happen, but they have solid bursts as well until they're getting accustomed to it. So that you don't get those situations where they're out of their depth and, they're gassed as well. And part of that is like a guy like Miss Jackson Ford, who he plays 65 straight and he would have played 80, but now you've got guys playing bigger minutes. So you've got the luxury of actually having these dynamic, individuals come on and do a job. Not like, blooded young guys who have gotten to play 60 and they just kind of, once they're gassed, they're in trouble. They're learning the game, learning the ropes, but these guys are just riding tune.
Can I just add, I think Team M has his position is nailed in the bench. He has to be on the bench now. ROCCO Berry's gone. He just slots in and he played awesome on the weekend. And so I think, that he's got that nailed in terms of the position on the bench.
Lance Ohio 2.0.
Yeah, utility to the max.
Not played. He's probably not packed down in the scrum as prop. That's probably about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
Hold my beer.
He's gonna get a big booty.
Just get that big booty. Can I bring up one more point about the youngins? They've got a good apprenticeship. Let's put it that way. Like, they are learning the tools of the trade on the job, but they're not being expected to do everything. Whereas back in the day, youngins brought in were probably expected to do a little bit too much. We're not. We just give them as much as we need, and then they do that. They nail it, and they earn themselves a few minutes.
Yeah,
that was the one I was going to talk
play
about.
80 minutes week in, week out. Exposed, got poor hands, can't run the lines, gets fatigued. Fast forward 3-4 years, is best back around the game.
Good apprenticeship. Yep.
So we're not going to make those mistakes.
No, we're not. Honesty box time, fellas. Who watched the NRLW game for the Warriors?
I didn't all of it, but most of it.
I watched the highlights.
Okay, cool.
I saw the highlights.
We've seen a little bit. We've seen at least flashes of that. Moneta, what did you make in terms of what you picked up? Historic win.
That bone crunching tackle.
Nichols.
I was like, damn.
Hit ups.
It's one of the biggest hits I've seen this year, full stop, across all levels of rugby. But yeah, no, it was good to watch and how they play, like spinning it out wide and so forth. And who was the I forget her name, the winger.
Break.
Yeah, right. She's proven herself, I think. She's fitted right in, from the sevens to this format. I think it's going to be a good year.
Every time she got the ball, man, I was like just sitting up a little bit in my seat thinking, shit, what's she going to do? She nearly split through. There was one play where she went straight through the line, and if it wasn't for that extra 25% greasy Auckland grass at Mount Smart, slipped over but did like a bloody forward roll. Like, she is the Terminator. I was like, wow. And even on that hit as well, that Nichols did, you could see the work that Michaela had done by just tracking back and cutting off the pass, because that and the fact that the girl running the ball got so gassed after about 50 odd meters, she was like, and then Nichols, right, see you later. So really cool to see. They're going to be traveling over to Newcastle. They're actually going to be playing after the men's team this coming Sunday. So yeah, interesting battle coming up over there.
Why are they doing that? Why are they playing after the men?
Good question. Really good question.
Prime
I'm
time.
not sure. Yeah, it's. I guess it must be to fit in with the. First of all, the NRL must have their TV schedule set down.
Yep.
And so I'm guessing the Warriors, due to the time slot, the men's team, I'm guessing they'll be playing in the Channel 9 time slot for that game. So so they probably either decided they want to put whether they would put the women's before or after. Maybe there was a game before. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. But I also mentioned the New South Wales Cup team, 12 wins in a row. That's not a typo. Holy shit, Daniel. Do you think it's are we not even talking like a title chance? Are we saying premiership or bust for this team?
Yep, pretty much. I mean, they've just got them to a level of players are coming in and out, right? Because they're going up to first grade, they're going in the wider squad as well. But yeah, they're just in such a great form. Got great structure and the ability to come in and out. So yeah, really, you'd expect them to go all the way as well. But look, things, not to sort of put a damper on it and touch wood, but they feed the top side, right? So it all depends on how that works, but it just goes to show how much depth we've got, right? Even the injuries we've had, people are going up, staying up, and not going back down. And you've got a bunch of first graders in there too. So and I think Webby just keeps saying it. The reason why the top side is doing so well is because we get pushed by the cup side as well. So you can't ask for a better formula. And we know, the Panthers mould, you look back a few years ago, they won all of it, right? They won all the grades as well. And
Swept the leg. Yeah, that was incredible that year. Holy moly. Moneta, you spoke about a big tackle in the NRLW game. There was a big tackle in the men's game as well. Little danger mouse. He was endangered for a bit there. Tiny Tane. But what did you think of his performance in the the fullback jersey?
He's a tough nut, isn't he? To get back up from that tackle. He played a massive game. And I can't say much about him, mate. We've got that next man up mentality. We've definitely got it, but he had a stellar game. How many meters did he make? 200 and something?
223.
Yeah, 223. Jesus.
Yeah.
And that breakaway.
Line break assist, try assist.
Down the
11 tackle
sideline.
breaks.
That was awesome. So, he had a great game. Yeah, it just shows a lot about our depth in the Warriors. So, compared to a few years ago in the dark days.
The way he stepped to Ruva as well, it's like he was doing it in slow motion, I thought, because it was wet ground, arguably not running as quickly as he could, but the way he stepped to Ruva just made Ruva look really foolish.
Yeah,
Just
for a little guy. He's good.
Yeah.
He's tough.
It was hilarious.
I think it just gives us a good dynamic too. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously miss Chance, absolutely, but for me, Chance and RTS can they are very similar, but when Tane's available, right? Like, he can stand up people from nowhere. He can just get himself out of tight situations and just get things moving. So, and it's so pleasing to make outside line breaks and have people say, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're finding ways to win, but we haven't done a lot of that, as well. So it's nice to see some pace.
Yeah, a bit of pace out wide. This is our fill-in winger out there. Leka Halasima. Posted up from the Warriors social media.
He tried to do RTS, but he knew he mucked it up, but he still scored it.
Oh, he did. Like I laughed at this play just because I saw him. He tricked the defender so badly, because he just made the defender thinking there's no way in hell this guy is going to go on the outside, because that's probably the stupidest place for him to go, and he ends up going on the outside and just shrugging him off. He's a freak. He does things that just makes people go, holy shit.
And he competes for the high ball.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely helped get us a try, didn't he? Chanel's one, I think it was. Hey?
The old header got up and just the old header go back in. That's a new play. Rassie Erasmus in the Springboks, he's creating new things of, why don't you just get up and head the ball? Hey, why don't you do that, actually? Like a football cross and then a head back in.
It's a gutsy play on a pointy steed.
And then, like Looney Tunes or something, just through a flat top.
But can I just say about Leka, And for us boys that we know, rest in love. But he reminds me of young Andy Vatalini tearing up Onslow College courts and first 15 with the strength and the pace and the movement as well. So generational talents, individuals like that, they just don't come along.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny talking to guys at the SEN offices. They'll see that the pathways are charging along, and they're like, oh man, there's all these guys coming through, and it's there's guys to keep an eye on. Absolutely. I just say there's no Lecker is one of one. That's something special right there. Moneta, our resident expert of injuries. How concerned are we about our man ROCCO? The ROCCO has picked up another knocko.
Go.
You just got to feel sorry for him, first off. I mean, the amount of injuries he's had this year, and he scored that try and did that little celebration. You thought he was back. He's coming back. And then he got that injury from trying to dive on the ball, and the other player dived on his shoulder. And you kind of knew, oh no, here we go. So first off, I feel for him because he must be wanting to prove himself and just be consistent on the field. But yeah, no, I don't know. He's still young though. He's only 24, so I still think he has time on his side. I don't think we've seen the best of him. And so, yes, he's getting a lot of injuries, but I still think he's got youth on his side. So I still think there's more to come of him. And he'll come back stronger. So I'm being optimistic. I know there's people saying that, he could be, it could be time up pretty soon, sooner than later. But again, I think it's his youth, and we'll come back. Yeah.
Now the thing is, when a guy like him gets injured, we have got like Ali just played. He played 1.5 in the New South Wales Cup on the weekend, so he's floating around. Obviously had injuries as well. But Isaac, one guy who will be coming back next week, regardless, is Kurt Capewell. So where does he play? Where are you thinking he lines up against the Knights?
I'd say he probably jumps into that centre position. Murata had a great game as well. He was really threatening with the ball. Yeah. So I think I paid him out last week as well. Like he needs to stump up, and he did exactly that.
Technically, that podcast doesn't exist.
Oh wait, I didn't say nothing.
It's a shit.
Shouldn't you guys be paying out New South Wales?
But yeah, Capewell will probably jump into the centre role, which I like anyway, because he's just solid on defense, and arguably that centre position for the whole season. There's been a rotating cast: Ali, Capewell, Rocco Berry. No one's really sort of owned that jersey just purely because of injuries, to be perfectly honest. Not form, but just straight up injuries. So chuck Capewell in there. We know he does a job. He offers a little bit in attack these days compared to maybe a few years ago. He fits that centre jersey just fine. And then just leave Pompey alone. He just does Pompey things. We love Pompey here.
Left side, yeah. He picked up a little bit of a bump as well during the game. I was like, shit, not even Pompey,
Oh yeah,
he never gets injured. He's indestructible. Yeah, it's an interesting one we've got coming up. Moneta, I'm going to actually give you a quick Origin breakdown, and it's a perfect 3-0. That is Warriors players instead of Origin. Bam, there we go. They are undefeated in 2025.
Yeah, we all win.
Good to stay on again.
It was in the forward pass.
Shit. All right, boys, we're gonna jump out of here in a couple of moments, but let's go and have a quick look at this Newcastle game. Where are we going to defeat the Knights? How do we storm the castle?
Look, I don't want to be that guy, and I don't want to say poo-poo things, but
that's all we've got time for today. Thanks, guys. Go ahead, be the guy, bro.
Okay, so we take the 2 points, but it was the Tigers. They didn't do themselves any favours in the back end of the game, and the game was in the balance, and the margin was where it should have been for the dominance we had in the game, but we weren't perfect. So, we have to be better than we were, and I think we will be with the guys getting back on, and after 2 losses and a bye, good to get a game in. Just rinse and repeat, man. Like the blueprint's there. We have a game plan, it's simple footy, we smash them in the middle, and we get creative around Wade, and then we find some stuff out wide with Tanah. So, I think if we can just kind of lay out 5-10% and control the game better than we did, the Knights can't stay with us. Yeah, they're Tigers. These teams, they just you can't lead them in the game. You got to just hammer them early. So, yeah, I'd expect us to get the chocolates, but it is a funny place to go and play footy.
Indeed. Moneta, before we go, bro, give us a quick score prediction.
2014 Warriors.
2014 to the Warriors. I like
Solid.
it. Just had a quick check of the weather forecast as well. A little bit of rain on Friday, but other than that, it's all pretty much sun and cloud up in Newcastle. So, Isaac, give us your first Warriors try scorer.
First Warriors try scorer will be RTS, and I reckon we fucking pound Newcastle Knights. They suck at the moment. They are so down on troops. I reckon this is a statement game right here. We kick their ass.
I like it. I like their confidence. And, who knows? On a dry track, at least 25% less greasy than Auckland grass.
It's like a home game.
That's backed up
Home
by
away from
science. Yeah, should be a good one. And then, of course, the NRLW game to follow, as well as Pathways games. Holy shit, it's all go at the moment for the Warriors. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to head along to warriorsanonymous.co.nz and get yourself some sweet merch. And us nobodies like mega rich, sweet. And until then, we'll catch you next week. Until then, up the wires and go the Warriors.
La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar.